fell in love with the concept of sailing at 19 when I was in college. And I
Right.
just pinned a picture up and I just wrote on it someday. So it was an aha angel singing
Yeah.
moment. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
It just filled my body. So it took 35 years and a divorce, but I got the boat.
Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WYTV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey, friends, please join me for a minute and just try to imagine how great you'd feel living the unique and distinct life you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you, it makes a very happy life. And so can Sandy Wertanen. She's my guest star today, and she's here to share her unique and distinct journey to her life of significance. Hey, Sandy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Finally, we had to,
made it.
yeah, yes.
So why don't you just get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world?
I am trying to still put together my Pacific Cup race campaign, and that is a race from San Francisco to Kaneohe, Hawaii. And it takes place in July every other year on the even years. So I want to do an all women's team. And so I'm prepping the boat slowly but surely.
Prepping the boat, prepping the crew.
Yes, absolutely. The crew, that's the most important part. It's easy actually because you can always hire people to prep a boat, but it's getting out there with your crew on the ocean and practicing and being together. So in many different venues, not just on the water, but because you're stuck together on a 37-foot boat for nearly 2 weeks. Usually takes about 10 days or 12 days to get there. So you have to get along.
It's a 10 to 12 day race.
Yeah, it could. We're hoping to possibly, that's what I go for, is the record, which is 9 days, 22 hours on an Express 37, which is my boat. So I want to do it in 9 days, 21 hours.
Very good. We'll be pulling for you.
Thank you.
All right, Sandy, let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the world can get to know you through our happy formula. It's a simple but powerful equation that goes like this: power plus purpose equals happy.
Yep.
So let's start with power. What are your personal practices for building up all the power you need to get things done, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally? In other words, Sandy, what do you do on a regular basis to create all the power you need to take really good care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over so you can be a giver to others?
Gosh, that is the best question, because it encompasses everything about, it's not just sailing, but in everything in the world. But for sailing, and especially racing, you have to be in good shape. So first of all, but before body, I believe, is mind. And you can interpret that so many ways: religiously, spiritually, intellectually. But I utilize all of them. I'm not particularly religious on one religion, but I'm very spiritual. So your mind has to be healthy and strong. And I believe the way to that is through good food, healthy living. I don't hardly drink. I don't condemn anybody that does, but to stay in shape, obviously physically work out, but the mind is just as important in that. They work synergistically. So and sailing is definitely, it's not just physical. Certainly it's you have to, all five senses have to be finely tuned in order to be successful and not knock over the boat, things like that.
Sandy, now let's dive into one of my favorite power generating concepts. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results.
Yes.
And I love it because it's based on mindset, like you were talking about, and circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing there's always something I can do better tomorrow than today. And for me, it creates an optimistic, gentle, but powerful and continuous uplifting of my life day after day after day. So, Sandy, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power so you can continuously become more, then you can continuously give more?
I'm going to say it, I hope it makes sense. Incremental success with the smallest, tiniest things,
Yep.
from finishing little rigging jobs that I can do without hiring somebody. I think it's important, especially for women sailors and women boat owners, which there are not very many boat owners. There's plenty of women crew, but I try to encourage boat owning as well. And just learn, get the books out, get Google, get, like YouTube out and start, but doing those small, tiny little jobs where you feel the success, like, oh, wow, I just did that. So now I can tackle this bigger job that I thought I was going to have to hire out. So I try not to hire, but I'm smart enough and at this for since 1983, I've been racing. Smart enough to know that you hire out when to, or at least hire somebody to check your work. So I
Yep.
would say the small little jobs that make me feel successful and capable.
Yeah.
So
So,
feeling the capability every
yep.
day.
Bill, you get a small job accomplished, and that creates momentum, like you were talking about. But it
Right.
also creates a new platform from where you do your work. So as you keep building, as you bring in a new crew member and you teach them something, now you're starting the next day at an advanced level. And that's how Kaizening life works. And what it means, really, if you think about it, is even as we age, we should be able to get life should be able to continue to become easier and easier and easier as we build on yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. I'm going to be reading more about it because it fascinates me. First of all, I love Japanese culture, period.
Mm,
My mom actually started when I was in high school. My parents were World War II generation.
mm,
My dad was in the South Pacific for 5 years, et cetera, et cetera. My mom ended up taking Japanese classes when I was in
uh,
high school to speak Japanese and learn
wow.
more about the culture, and that rubbed off on me. And that's a little side note. Sorry about that,
That's all right. No, I
but
love
it's helped me certainly in times of challenge
it. Yep.
to seek other things like that.
Yep. I love that word. I found it probably 3 or 4 decades ago in a waiting room.
Really?
Yeah. And it's really informed my life. And it's simple, it takes away the scariness of change because you just do one little thing and then another little thing. And then what I've added to it is it's Kaizen, small incremental improvements, and hold. So once you've done something, don't give it up, right? If you're trying
Right.
to lose weight, you lose 5 pounds, hold on to that for dear life. Do not give it back. Kaizen and
Oh
hold,
my
and
gosh.
then you can really
Yes.
build on your successes. So
Kaizen and hold. I like that. That's
so let's
that's really important. Not to
yeah,
get discouraged. Don't
yeah,
slip back.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So let's explore purpose. That's the second element of the happy formula. And Sandy, I've observed that major life transformations, those really big discoveries of purpose, often come through devastation, addiction,
Mhm.
abuse, disease, death, disaster. Something awful just strips a life right to its core, resulting in some big change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process that I've used to discover my purpose using inspiration. So, how about you?
Mm.
Sandy? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the purpose you were meant to live?
Well, I could tell you the quick basic story where it started. I started racing in '83, and the way I got onto the boat at Richmond Yacht Club, it was good friends of ours. In fact, two of them went to Del Valle, about
Okay,
5 years older than me. You want me to say their names? Is
sure.
that okay? Okay,
Welcome to the show.
Gary Troxel and Jim Olivero, and they were racing with a friend, and I wanted to get on that boat really bad. So I pushed, they wanted my boyfriend, later husband, now divorced, but they wanted him because he was tall.
Hmm.
And so I got him onto the boat. And my kind of plan was I got him on and then I'll come on board because there weren't that many women racing in the '80s like that. And So that was my on the boat moment. They needed a crew member. Somebody didn't show up one day, and I just, I was waiting on the dock like a puppy dog, and
What
got
was
to get on the
what
boat
what was the attraction that made you want to even be on a boat?
and push my boyfriend, later husband, because he wasn't really that into it.
Okay.
I fell in love with the concept of sailing at 19 when I was in college, and I
Right.
just pinned a picture up,
That's
and I just wrote on it someday. So I just had this goal. It
okay.
was an attraction. I don't know.
Yep.
You can call it a divine attraction.
Yep.
And so that was, and I took lessons at the Cal Club in Berkeley,
Okay.
UC
Yep.
Berkeley's Cal Club.
Yep.
And so that started my little career. But what I was going to tell you, my inspiration came about a year later, after a year of racing. Somebody in the fleet, it was a Cal 227 fleet, there were about probably 20, 25 boats. One of them left the fleet and bought an Express 37, and it was a
Mm,
new boat. They were built from 84 to 88, 65 of them. This
mm,
this man, Lee Bright, was a top-notch sailor. He took us on the boat to show us his brand new Express 37.
mm.
And from the moment I descended the stairs, because there are more stairs, it's a race boat. Uh, it's a cruising race boat, but they went straight down, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And I looked inside, and I whispered to my boyfriend, Dave, my ex-husband, I said, someday I'm going to own an Express 37,
Wow.
because it was an aha angel singing
Yeah.
moment. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
It just filled my body. So um, it took 35 years and a divorce, but I got the boat. So I think it's that I never let go. I always continued racing, and love being crew, and but the opportunity didn't come along until I had an inheritance and I could buy it.
The interesting thing about your story, and it's similar to so many others, is if when you feel that inspiration hit you, like you said, divine inspiration or something, that you needed to be a sailor, then the trick is to hold on to that too, because that's really important.
Yeah.
And if you can
Yes.
start to build your life around it, even if it takes 35 years, it's worth every single effort, right? All along the way.
Exactly.
And struggling through effort to get there is all of a sudden is infused with purpose, which makes all
Yes.
your struggle easier because you're going to get your boat one day.
Yes. It was a source of gosh, yes, of hanging in there,
Yeah,
in times. We all have tough times in life. That's life.
that's
And
life.
but you having something that you love
Yeah,
to look forward to, and give you inspiration, is
yeah,
vital.
yeah.
Is
That's
vital. Whether it could be anything. Doesn't have to be a boat
correct.
or
So
yeah.
tell us before we go to a break here, what was the catalyst for the name the Wahine Warriors, which is the name of your crew, or is it the
Uh,
name of or is it the name of both?
it's no. So my boat's name is Eclipse. I did not change it when I bought it. The Wahine Warriors was inspired when I did my first Pack Cup in 2012. I had a friend who did it on another boat, a woman, Shauna Bagley, incredible sailor. And I offered her to stay at the house we were all renting. And one night we were saying, I said, yeah, we're we're warriors, we're Wahinis. And she said, yeah, we're Wahinis. And we just both shouted at the same time, Wahine Warriors, we're Wahine Warriors. So that was finishing the race, a 2-week race across the ocean. And
That's great.
then that's what inspired it.
And tell the audience
So it wasn't just my idea.
what Wahine means.
Wahine means female or woman in Hawaiian. A
So
lot of
Wahine
people will,
means
and in
women.
Hawaiian language, they pronounce every vowel.
Hmm.
So it's, yeah.
So
So
how do you pronounce it?
Wahine,
Wahine.
where,
Okay.
and it looks like Wahine,
Mm-hmm.
Hine,
Mm-hmm.
but it's Wahine. Like it's really Hawaii, You would say, and Kauai is actually Kauai.
Okay.
That's how you would say that. So
Very good. All right, Sandy, let's take a quick commercial break for our audience to spread a little love for our sponsor to spread a little love with our audience.
okay.
If you have more ideas than actions, if you have more promises than change, if you're ready for the life you are meant to live, then TI2A is the book for you. And we're back, and this is the Something Significant show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is Sandy Wertanen. Sandy is the skipper, owner, and CEO of Wahine Warriors, LLC. It's a Pacific Cup women's racing company leading an all-woman crew competing in the rugged sport of competitive sailing that's dominated by men. Oh, Sandy, I do love that, and we'll be cheering for you. And I think you're going to love this article that I found on livescience.com. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says the act of giving itself can be a gateway for discovering your reason for being on the planet. It tells how science supports the idea that giving one's time or talents or treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose and for overcoming difficulties and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I went and updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So what do you think, Sandy? Has giving your time and your talents and your treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting past difficulties you've faced and for bringing real meaning into your life?
Yes, and that's in giving. For absolutely, I'm on board. No pun intended, with that. What I love most about this is not being the boss. You know, after years of crewing, after 30 years or 32 years of crewing, it takes a while to be a skipper, by the way, and a leader. It doesn't just come like that. Just because you have knowledge of what you love doesn't mean you're going to be a good skipper. So, you know, it takes a while. It took me about at least 6 months to realize that I was in charge, that I wasn't being dictated to. I was used to just following through, following orders, doing what I was supposed to. And now I had to do that. And so I sometimes look around, the crew would look back at me and I'd go, yeah, up with the main, let's go. And so, you know, humbleness certainly helps, but in the giving part, I every single day want to give somebody. That's why I'll tell the grocery clerk, hey, have you ever sailed? Do you want to try sailing? Because that's how I also recruit crew. You're always recruiting. And because you want to give that joy of, you know, I'll try to put words on it, but being out on the water and utilizing nature's powers. And gosh, there's times when I've gone up and down the coast with, you know, dolphins, and not to get new agey on you, but that's powerful. That is powerful. So you want to give, I want to give other people an experience if they want it. So it's sharing the love of nature and all the power in nature, and knowing how tiny you are, and there's something so much greater than you, and you're part of it.
That's great. And in your particular case, the experience of being on a boat and out there on the ocean is something that you do all the time, but many of us have never got a chance to do that. So it must be thrilling for you to see, you know, a land dweller out there just lit up like a Christmas tree because you've taken him or her out in the water.
Yes. Hearing someone, or you can almost feel it, feeling and hearing that first deep breath of awe is the best gift ever. I'll take it over, you know, a big fat bank account for my boat campaign. It's what really drives me.
Yeah. So it's interesting. That's the science tells us that giving to others actually brings real meaning into our lives. And the feeling that comes from our fourth element of significance, which is doing work that creates value for others, that confirms it. When you're doing that, you get this feeling of joy. But there's something even more to it than just the giving, I think. And I can feel it deep in my spirit, Sandy. It's when you're giving from living in your purpose, that's where you find the real magic of life. And so
Yes.
our audience and I would like to experience how it makes you feel to be happily living your life and giving to others through the work you were put on this planet to do, and the people all around you have taken notice. So Sandy, just please sit back, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making on their lives by finding the
Mm,
magic of purpose in your life.
okay.
Your sweet niece told me my Aunt Sandy has always been so athletic and I've always admired her. She's loved me as if I were her flesh and blood. I'm blessed that she's my aunt. Another person told me crewing on a 37-foot boat successfully is a dance, and Sandy is the dance instructor, making sure all moves are done smoothly, safely, and successfully. And another, Sandy has been a wonderful supporter of my journey through breast cancer, along with another friend. They checked in nearly daily with me during the active treatment 3 years ago and cheered me on. Others said, she loves with all her heart, friendly, generous, always looking to help others,
Mm,
competitive, courageous, an excellent skipper, successful, full of curiosity, full of life, a leader, a problem solver, a team builder, warrior, referee, communicator, loving, passionate, perfectly delightful. Sandy has great energy and enthusiasm, a get it done attitude, hilarious, fun at parties, a great conversationalist, supportive, optimistic. She's one in a million, an inspiring woman, unwavering in how she expresses herself. There are not many women like her. Not only does she race her own boat, but she also does the work on it too. A good San Francisco Bay sailor. I admire the skill and courage it must take to sail a small craft all the way to Hawaii and back. I think of myself as brave, but I don't think you'd ever catch me trying that. Sandy has always been a kind-hearted, caring person. I'm sure she got that from her mother. Clearly devoted to sailing, an amazing person, mom, friend, and sailor. Sandy is living her best life and it shows. And finally, this person says, I have the utmost respect and love for Sandy. So, Sandy, how does all that love make you feel?
I took it all in. I'm trying not to do the, oh, stop, let it flow. Uh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's gonna, I'm gonna be absorbing that for at least a week. And I can't tell you what all of that, it's incredible. I think it's all true too now. But I accept it. I accept it. It's incredible to hear.
Well, and that's what this show is all about, Sandy. It's finding that magic in each of our lives, and it's available for all of us. That's what I believe. And it comes from this great big happy circle. Giving your time, talents, and treasures is a powerful pathway to discovering your purpose. And giving from living in your purpose brings a profound joy to your life, as you're experiencing right now, and to
Yes.
the lives of those around you too. So it seems like giving leads to purpose, and giving from purpose leads to joy. So to truly capture the exponential power of our happy formula, Sandy, let me tweak it just a little bit more.
Okay.
To power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
Yes. Yes. Oh, I just, wow. It's there's just not many times when you can connect with somebody like this, Matt, and you're providing that. And I feel like I'm in Yosemite at church, which is Yosemite's my outdoor church. Um, do you know what I mean? It's the essence. It's the essence of life. Joy and you get joy from loving and giving.
Yeah,
And it all comes back to you,
it does.
really to the 10th power, I think. But
My formula again, change my formula.
incredible formula. Love it. Love it.
Very good. All right, so let's wrap things up with the lightning round. I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few of my favorites to you and have you tell us what they mean to you. And give us the first thing that pops into your mind, Sandy, because we call this a lightning round.
Okay.
So here we go. From Robert Brault. he says, life is like sailing. You can use any wind to go in any direction.
Indeed. Indeed. If it doesn't work one way, try another.
Very good. This is from Chef Francis Malman. He says, it's a little long. He says, my life has been a path at the edge of uncertainty. Today, I think we educate kids to stay settled in a comfortable chair. You have your job, you have your little car, you have a place to sleep, and all the dreams are dead. You don't grow on a secure path.
That's right. Absolutely. Same thing. Same with change your sail. If things aren't working, change the sail. Constantly. Here's a good one that I'm thinking of. Anticipate the shift.
Mm-hmm.
Anticipate the shift. That's a kind of a basic knowledge of sailing. Anticipate the shift. And if you're too comfortable, jack it up a little.
Yeah, I like that. This is from Albert Einstein. He says, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them.
Yeah, you have to get out of the if you get caught in the negativity swirl, whatever that's, the what's it called when they're swirling in the ocean? It's like a cyclone in the water. Thank you, whirlpool. Yeah. So, and if you let those negative thoughts creep in, which they're always floating all around us every day, but don't grab onto those. You don't grab onto those. You've got to think of when, what really helps me? I love this, smile. When you're angry, you're crying or anything in the midst of it, and you're going to feel kind of crazy doing it, but smile, because those smile muscles actually release positive biochemicals. So that's, how to help get out of a negative swirl like that.
Good advice.
I agree with that.
This is from Dr. Wayne Dyer. He says, don't die with the music still in you.
Ooh. Oh, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Till you just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's it. This is from Dr. Martin Luther King. The only way to convert an enemy to a friend is through love.
Oh, yes. Yes. You've got to, you find something. And even if you don't, it's not always about finding something else you like about the person. Deal with the very thing you don't like. That's where the love is. You overcome that. I certainly on a tiny level come across that with crew. Sometimes you discover things about someone rather than just dismissing the person and not inviting them back. I challenge myself because I'm 50% of that dynamic that's going on. So I work on myself, and it always gets better. It always flips over, and it turns out to be some of the best people I've met in life that may have kind of rubbed me the wrong way in the beginning turn out completely opposite later. So yes, love is everything.
An extension of that love is acceptance, right?
Yes.
Accepting people as they are, even though it may not be how you are. All right.
Precisely.
I don't know the author of this one, but I love it. It says, and I think you'll recognize it. Dear Ocean, thank you for making me feel tiny, humble, inspired, and salty all at once.
Yeah. I put that on Facebook a few weeks ago. Sorry, it's the best.
What's it mean to you?
Because, as I said, whether you believe in God or anything like that, or spiritual, or an all omnipotent being, I can tell you from real experience out in the ocean, the middle of the Pacific Ocean, at about 5:30 in the morning, as the sun was just coming up. Sun comes up behind you, obviously, in the east as you're heading west. And I've never experienced this before, but where I felt like this, and it sounds so redundant and so cheesy, but you just feel like this tiny, tiny, tiny grain of sand, and unlimited right, an unending,
Yeah.
infinity universe, and you
Yes.
realize that something there's, and that spirit is love, is
Yeah.
what I just felt God in that moment as love, pure love, and I just thanked everything that I was there at that moment
That's great.
and felt that.
This is
So,
the last one. It's our show anchor from Goth. He said, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
mm, yeah, don't not be who you are. Always be who you are. Always be genuine. So I get genuineness out of that statement. I like that because from that will be your confidence,
Yep.
which equals boldness. You
Yep.
know, boldness is a good word. Some people think maybe bold is not. It's too aggressive. It's not. You got
No.
to be bold.
Yep. There's a song. You got to be bold. Okay, folks.
Oh,
Okay, folks, now it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you were inspired by today's show with Sandy Wertanen, won't you please share a little love with our fabulous broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7? They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. Audience, would you like to see a little tour of Sandy's boat? I think they're saying yes.
okay.
Let's do a little tour.
Let me come over here. I'm going to show you the. This is called during the winter. I don't race very much at all. In fact, not at all right now until about February. So here, this is it's called a V berth. This is it's really like a queen size bed.
Okay.
But when I'm not racing, this is completely, everything's out of here. Everything's off the boat. You have to offload your boat a lot during racing. You don't want any weight on the boat except the crew. So let me take you outside and show you some things here. It's a rainy day out here in the Bay Area. I'm in
Okay.
Alameda, California at Marina Village Yacht Harbor. So here's the that's the back of the boat, the stern. This is my next door neighbor. It's the same kind of boat as mine, Express
Okay.
37. And let's see, here's Eclipse. I replaced this. This is called a boom bang. Sorry. I replaced some of these lines. I put this on just before the Rolex race in September, which is a 4-day race, famous, really challenging race. And I do it with 10 women and we have a great time. So some of those, there's that. This is the front of the boat. I have Comcast cable coming onto the boat, so I can watch anything I want on the boat. And this is called the spinnaker pole. Here's the mast. Wow. She goes way up there.
How tall?
She's very she's, let's see, that's about 50, I'm gonna say 55 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, about that.
5 feet
So
tall,
she's got
37 feet long.
Yeah. Yes.
How deep does she go down into the water?
So she has a big keel, which helps keep her because so it's 7.5 feet. She has a 7.5 foot keel. She draws 7.5 feet. That's called going down. So I can't, like over in the Berkeley area. Yeah. It's very shallow there. There's certain times of the day where we'll get stuck, so you can't go in there. And the reason she has such a long keel is it's a lightweight boat, under 12,000 pounds, and a big sail area. If you can see how, when I put the main is under here. So she's going to go to weather. When the wind is up, it's going to heel over. That's why I need 10 crew, because they have to bring the boat down by putting their weight on the high side. So I can drive.
How fast can you be scooting on the water?
Oh gosh, well, I haven't done it yet, but the previous owner, who is one of the top 5 best sailors on the bay, lucky to have bought his boat. I lovingly call Eclipse, when I have the all women crew, I call her She Clips,
Okay.
which, just kind of a funny, but he got her up to 23 knots one time, which is a very rare for a boat like this. And that
Wow.
was down in the Santa Barbara Channel. So I think the fastest we've gone is 15, about 15 knots, and that's fast. It doesn't sound fast, but it is on the
Yeah.
bay.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
and
Very good.
it's
Tell us again, when is your big Hawaii race?
it would it I'm going to try for July of next year. My son is getting married in August, so it's really squeezing it a little too close because I'd have to get the boat back, and I would have to ship her home, and we're looking into that. We're looking
Okay.
into that. Yeah, but it
All right.
probably is going to be 2026.
Sandy, I love that you named your company Wahine Warriors, meaning woman warriors,
Mhm.
in a boat racing sport dominated by men. And I admire your mission to become internationally recognized for promoting equal opportunity and providing access to women in competitive sailing. And I'm super happy that you've shared your courageous and passionate woman or warrior spirit on our show today. Will you please take
Thank
a minute
you.
or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
Experience and knowledge of sailing, obviously. That's love of ocean and its
Mm,
animal life,
mm.
and the skill sets of sailing with a crew of 10. The cooperative spirit. So I love that. That's probably my biggest gain is the cooperative spirit. That's why I'm not into solo sailing. Love solo sailors, and
Mm.
I follow one of sailor right now, Cole Brower. She's incredible. She's sailing around the world by herself in a
Wow.
race, and she's doing really well. And I was lucky enough to have her on my boat. I think it was 2018. We were going to try to do the Pac Cup then, and she was going to be on the crew. So we were together for 4 months, and she was on my boat. She helped put it together, and she was in the kind of more beginning phases of racing, and she's done so much in that time. And this is somebody who's 5'1", 5'2", and about 100 pounds, and she is phenomenal.
How old is
So
she?
she is 29, I believe.
Oh, so she's young. Wow.
Yes, very young. Yes, she's incredible. You can follow her. It's Cole Brower, BRAUAR, I think. So I'll correct that. If you can see that I'll put it on my Facebook,
Yep, that'd be
and you
great.
can, yeah, she would be somebody that you could try to, when she's done, she just passed the Cape of Good Hope, but
That's awesome.
having
Well,
somebody, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
connect us up and we'll get her on the show if she'd like.
Oh gosh, yeah, that would be great.
That'd
So
be great.
that's, you get out and do what you love and connect with people. That's my parting words. Connect with people, and yeah, and
Yep,
just always bring love in the world.
yep. And give us 30 more seconds on, because I think you were class of 78, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was 79. So we're in our early
Oh,
60s.
you're right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep, so we're in our early 60s and still doing it every single day. So just talk about how when you've found your reason, how age is not really the relevant thing in life. It's
No, it's not.
doing your thing, right?
Yeah. There's been a few times, like, my knee I've been athletic all of my life. It's on the varsity sports at Delvalle year round, swimming, basketball, and softball. So, that's caught up with me. One of my knees is kind of, but I'm lucky I don't have a lot of pain with it. But I turn thought away and just go, okay, no, you're not going there. That's for people that, that's for old people.
That's
You're
for the
not,
old people.
then there's just, but I just always talk myself out of it. And you can call it, in denial, but I don't. I do that smile thing and just
Mhm.
keep going
Yeah,
because I don't feel my age at all. Maybe fortunately or unfortunately, I still feel like I'm in my 20s.
yeah,
I mean, even on a maturity level at times. So, because I just feel such deep joy for being alive. I
yeah.
love, 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 love life.
I'm with you. I feel the same way about aging, and I feel like I'm in my 20s until I see a mirror. Then I see all 62 years. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
And I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Sandy and reaching folks just like you ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Sandy Wertanen. Find her, friend her. Just search for Sandy Anderson Wertanen on Facebook and LinkedIn. That's Sandy, Sandy, Anderson, ending with an EN, and Wertanen, Wertanen. One more time, Sandy Anderson Wertanen.
Wertanen, but that's
Wertanen.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Okay. From me to you, dear friends, I love you, and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and take our happy quiz, because measuring your happy helps you focus your attention on it, and focusing attention on it attracts change and learning and improvement, all to flow right into your life. And once you take the quiz, and it only takes a minute, then give some thought about what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome. And this is the Something Significant Show.